everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Mission Snapshot. We are thankful that you have taken time out of your busy schedule to meet with us here because we have an exciting update to give you from a previous Mission Snapshot. So we're glad you're here. Hannah's over there and she is going to be dropping links down below. So if you have any questions or comments, we invite you to drop them down below as well, and she will take care of you. Today is Thursday, so we have Veronica in the studio. And I want to start off, before I turn the mic over to Veronica to share her story, is we're going to be giving an update on the Norton family. We had done an episode back in June because we were talking about their expanding family, and we have an update about that. And we have an update about their expanding ministry.
Yeah.
But for those of you who may not be familiar with the Norton family, they are in Thailand in the city of Sukhothai. And that city has been prayed over a lot because the name of Jesus was not known in that city. And Hannah's going to drop a link below to a really short video that was produced with John Wood, our president, doing a prayer walk through Sukhothai so that you can get a feel for why this city was being prayed for. And the Nortons saw that video and they heard more information about Sukhothai, and that is what inspired them to go there in the first place. So how long have they been there?
So they've been there just over a year.
Just over a year.
I believe their year anniversary was last month or end of August.
End of August, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So not too much more than just a year.
Right. So they've only been there a year, but God has been doing a mighty work through this family. And so I now want Veronica to give her update and share with us.
Yeah. So the Nortons have just been so blessed. And I feel like a lot of missionaries, sometimes it takes you almost a year just to get settled and into your own routine.
Right.
And the Nortons didn't have that much time. God started working with them immediately, as soon as they landed in Thailand. And so they have just been going for him. And so, like we mentioned before, God has placed many children in their care, and they've been able to bring them into their homes and help them. And the last time we spoke about them, they still had 2 openings, so to speak, in their home before the government would say, no, your house is too full, you can't have any more kids, without being licensed as a school or orphanage. And so they have since filled those 2 spots, and they are now completely full. Their family is full for now until God shows them what else to do.
Right.
So it's really exciting that they are able to help so many kids.
Right, and you can see in the photo here that they're popping out of this van.
Yes, and that is just amazing. Like that is their whole family there.
Yeah.
And that's a cool story in and of itself, because that van was actually, it belongs to one of our other missionary families, the Bowders, and it did not work well for them. It would work sometimes, not all the time. And the Nortons needed something that would carry their whole family to go renew their visas. And so Josh Bowder was like, well, you can try the van. I don't know if it'll work. But God blessed, and it worked perfectly for them, and it fit all their whole family. And so that's just another little blessing, little tidbit to throw in there.
Exactly. And so we have a photo here of the last slot filled in the family.
Slot. So this is a photo of the girls. And so the littlest one there is the newest
Nan, I think.
Nan, or I'm sorry, not the littlest, but
the tallest of the Thai girls.
Of the Thai girls, the tallest one, excuse me. So that is Nan. She is their newest and last member for now that has joined the family. And so they are just thrilled to be able to help so many, and it's great to see, it just an immediate change when someone is brought into such a stable environment and a cheerful environment, one filled with God's love. Immediately they start to change. And so
we were
wonderful.
prepping for this show yesterday, and Hannah made the comment that you can just, with the photos,
Yes.
You can see the difference in the children from the time they first arrive in the family until today. And you can see how God has just showered his love on these children, and they're learning for the first time that they're valuable and that someone loves them. And so it's an amazing ministry.
Yeah, you definitely can see that because, when you first are introduced to them through pictures, through Casey's blogs and different things, you can tell that these kids, as young as they are, they have been through a lot. And you can just see it in their face. I mean, they are just withdrawn and they're unsure and they're insecure and whatever they thought was love is nothing compared to God's love and what they're going to be experiencing. And so, as you kind of watch their progression in the family, you can see just from their expressions how things are changing for them for the better.
Right. So we know from Casey's blog, and Hannah will drop a link down below to Walking Redeemed, which is Casey's blog, and we encourage you to read that because that will give you a great insight into life as a missionary and with children who are not your own and serving, and it's great. But we know that Casey and her husband Robbie don't just sit at home and take care of the children, even though they have
that it could be a full-time job. I mean, there's a lot of kids.
Like 11 kids?
There's 11 kids in their home right now. So, and 6 of which don't speak English, or at least not very well. And, that's a huge job in and of itself. But they knew that the mission going there was not just for the children. God has definitely led them into many avenues. And so they do other things like offering English lessons to local people. They go out and try and help, get to know their neighbors, get to know the people around them. And if there's ways for them to help out, they can. They have a lot of different, hands in different pots trying to help in any way they can and to establish friendships and connections.
And the 2 older girls that were in this picture that are Casey's daughters, they have chosen to go to a local Thai school so that they can better learn the language and then make friends to minister to. And so their ministry is actually now in the Thai school, as in addition to the work that the family is already doing in the neighbors with all the grandmas and stuff.
So in addition to helping their mom with the younger siblings, they have chosen to integrate themselves as much as possible for just the reasons you said, to learn the language, but also so that they can reach more people, so they themselves can be part of the ministry.
So in 1 year, they landed in Sukhothai and they have a home. And they have taken in 6 children in addition to the 5 of their own that are living with them. They have 3 children here in the United States, but 5 are with them. And in addition to going around the neighborhood and helping with education and making friends and doing stuff, that's exhausting. Just listening to it. But that's not all.
Nope. We have more updates. So God has led them to do even more. And they had a vision of seeing some way for them to have some type of outpost where they can minister to the community even more, and also wanting to have a church plant. There's no church there. And so, they have worship in their home, which is great, but you can't successfully invite more and more people to come if you don't have,
because their house is really full right now with all of the people, because there's 13 people living in the house.
Exactly. It's very very crowded. There, as many bunk beds as you can stuff in a room is what they have. And so so they needed another spot. So God led them to a building in the business district of Sukhothai. And it is a 3-story building. And so on the first level, when you first walk in, they're going to use that as kind of their teaching ministry training center.
Kind of like it's a combination, I think, between a center of influence and a training center. So they're going to use that for when they do, if they give someone English lessons, they want to eventually have an actual mission training
set up, and so they can train other people on how to reach out and become missionaries or be an influence themselves. And so all of that will kind of happen on the ground level. They're also hoping to be able to cook large meals and share with the community and things like that. So this building provides more space and ability for them to do that.
Right.
The second floor is going to be the church. So that will be their church plant area. So they will set that up as usable for a church service, and that way people can come and join them for worship, and they can start inviting more people.
And they already have 13 members.
And there's already 13 members. That's a good congregation.
That's right.
So, yeah, so that's what they're hoping to do with the second floor. And then I believe they're going to use the third floor for some living space. I'm not 100% sure if they're officially moving out of their home and in their full time, but I believe they're using the third floor for living space.
Right. They need more space.
Yes.
They really do. Yeah.
So it provides them, and then it's all there, and so they have lots of room now to branch out even more and help more people. And they do have another family that they're hoping to have come and help them with the ministry as well.
Oh, nice.
So that also is a blessing that they will have some extra help.
Oh, yeah, because God has expanded the vision.
Yes.
And so more help will be needed for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think
So
that's
they will
great.
get that.
And I think you were mentioning that the children would get involved in the ministry.
Yeah. So part of the reason that they are excited about this, not just because God led them that way, but they really feel like the best way to help the children, theirs and their new ones that are Thai, is to get them involved in ministry. So, I mean, the best way to learn something is to do it. And so they want the kids to personally feel the influence when you reach out and share a testimony or help somebody else. It just changes your life. And so they want the kids to be part of that. So that with this opportunity gets the kids more involved, gives them options.
And they got involved in cleaning this place.
They did. First order of business was to clean. It was very dirty. There were lots of photos. I only picked a couple, but it was really nasty dirty. It had been vacant for a while. And so they had to clean, and they took a week to clean and move everything. And it took a long time. Yeah.
So in this photo.
So this is so sweet. So this is Fasai, I believe is how you pronounce it.
She's a little.
So she's 3, I believe, and she is vacuuming. There's other photos that they shared where she's sweeping the stairs, and she's actually doing a decent job for being 3. She was very cute. She's helping out. And then they had the boys all with brooms sweeping out rooms. It was a lot. There were cobwebs everywhere and just dirt. And if you watch the video, you'll see a part where they show their feet, and everyone's feet at the end, just dirt, just really, really dirty because that's how bad it was.
So to pop in here, the video that she's talking about is a video that's been posted on Casey's Walking Redeemed YouTube channel about this. And so Hannah will drop a link to that down below so that you can see the entire video and all the photos that we couldn't share here.
Yeah. So part of what they had there in the first floor when you walk in, there's like I'm not sure if it's exactly built in, but it is a huge cabinet that was bright red and kind of out in the, along this wall. And they wanted to kind of make that a prettier statement. And so Robert and the kids made this partition to cover that up to make it pretty. So when it's all done, they put some plants in there and just made it more of a calming accent
that's a lot
piece
more calming than something
than
that's
just bright red.
Yeah. That's right there,
So this is the finished, after they've cleaned everything and they've rearranged some of the furniture. So when you first walk in, this is kind of what you see. And there's, different seating areas, the bench seats, there's tables as well. There's a desk, kind of like an entry. Receptionist
desk.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Receptionist desk, whatever. And so, so this is the kind of the first floor, and it looks much nicer than it did when they started.
So I know that when the Nortons left here, the U.S., and headed toward Thailand, they truly had no idea what they would be doing, but they heard God's call for a family to go to this city that didn't know Jesus at all.
Yeah.
And now look what God has done.
I know.
In a year.
In
It's
just
amazing.
a year. Yeah, it's very cool. And yeah, they kept thinking, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to help kids? Are we going to give Bible studies? Are we going to help the elderly? What will be our mission? And it's really all of it. It's been everything, and they never even thought, it could be a little of everything. Like they thought, oh no, it's just going to be one focus. But God's really shown them that He can use you for everything.
I know. For those who are familiar with Brian and Jessica Atwell in Bangkok in the F5 Center, and how they kept going, well, I feel like God wants us to do, like a pizza restaurant, and but I also think smoothies, don't you? And so by the time they were done, they're like, I don't even know what God's doing. And then He gave them a 5-story building like this, and so every floor is one of those. So you never know what God's going to ask you to do, and sometimes you may feel crazy because you're sensing all these things, and God's like, no, don't choose. Just do all of it.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I think we all look for a very decisive path. And we think, okay, God is going to lead me here. And really, God's leading you here. And we don't think of that often. Of like, oh, there's going to be 10 things you're doing instead of one. But yeah, He's definitely moving in their lives that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I thank you for sharing this update. So it's always fun when we can do a mission snapshot and then do an update. Mission snapshot. So I'm so thankful that you came and shared this with us, and I thank you for joining us. And if you're interested in Jesus for Asia and you would like to know more about what we do, I invite you to go to jesusforasia.org and take a look at the more than 60 projects we have. The Nortons also have a project there, and Hannah can drop a link here to their direct donation page as well if you would like to support them in this. Otherwise, take a look at the website and all the other projects, and we invite you to pray for them because we know that prayer really works, and we covet your prayers. If you are watching this on YouTube, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. If you're watching this on Facebook, I invite you to like our page because we want you to be able to know when we're coming live again so that you can join us, because we love sharing these stories with you. So thank you again for joining us. This has been your Mission Snapshot.